So I think the national question to occur is how come people decide to came up with the ideas for the show when you came with some ideas and you feel like you wanted to express something that goes with your imagination, but most times when you create something that's going on in your head, the more of a disaster and some sort of a differences that has been going on, but it's just like that kind of a way. But yeah, whose type of biggest efforts that we ever think about this whole episode creative? Now, we basically been informed that during the whole episode, we basically have something to come up with our thoughts. But the big question is, how come people know that their creative thoughts can go wrong? See, that's the question, because if you people want to know how does it feel when you have something going on with your head, creation is just like part of the thoughts and trust. It's just like that, but most times you think you found a bit more concerned. But the problem is that sometimes creations never have the right amount of anything that goes with your intelligence. So now we've been dealing with the episode 1. Now we're going into episode 2. Now the episode 2 really does have the title of the episode. It's called Time. So before we get into the episode, it's just that I got something going on in my mind about the episodes, but don't hug me, I'm scared. Because the fact is, most times I found it a bit more of a creative thoughts of how much life can be like. But the fact is, sometimes creative can be a little bit more of a dark, edgier way. It's just like, hey, how you doing? I mean, like, you're kind of a creations kind of a guy, and you really think you'll have the purposes. Yeah, well, the purposes about the creation is just that how come people really understand about this type of imaginary that can really take up with some sort of boundaries between of it. And yet, though, no matter what the creations can really tell you, it's all just taken up with some of biggest efforts with your thoughts. But yet, though, who knows how does the creations can really do? But sometimes you think it's like just one thing that comes with the price. Even though the people who has ideas for trying to developing something for the future, but yet though the problem is just never working that well. But sometimes when people like a bad guys of Pokemon, and we begin to understand why does these bad guys came up with the ideas for the future, but yet though it never end well. But the fact is that's how some plans can be either be success, but yet it just never work out well, because trying to use a creative thoughts of how you're going to create a new world, which is beyond of the entire humanity's ideas. I know that because it just sounds strange. Very strange indeed. I can barely even understand about it. But, it's just not that easy to have something going on with it. So, I guess we're going into episode 2 called Time. So, I guess we should go ahead and check out this episode. Yeah, so the episode begins just those three on chairs, and while the clock is ticking and they were preparing for have a show. But then, unfortunately, though, it's going to take a while for them to understand how much the time has been ticking. Oh yeah, here comes the clock and everybody's memes.
Who is that?
Time is a tool you can put on the wall or wear it on your wrist.
That's called a watch. Every time you have something on your wrist, that's called a watch. You check the time in it, so now we can see what time it is now, what time it is then. After, before, it's a watch. I know they're trying to teach us how you do with time, but it's just a
The
watch.
past is far behind us. The future doesn't
Huh,
exist.
really? You can't imagine what does a future look like? Well, if you can imagine it in your head, then you can understand what does a future really tells you, because future is just very impossible for everything to see it. Sometimes people just like predictive visions of the future. I mean, I know that because it sounds crazy. A lot of people have done that because they just don't even know why they did it, because they just never even seen what does the future look like until you saw it.
9. Time
Oh,
to have
time for a bath. Everybody loves taking a bath, but to me, I prefer taking a shower.
Time is a ruler to measure the day. It doesn't go backwards, only one way. Watch it go round like a merry-go-round. Going so fast like a merry-go-round.
Goes around like a merry-go-round? More like carousel. Time is like everything around you is something beyond of it. Forward is the only way you can see what's going on in the future. Sometimes you go back in time and talk about history of it. That's called the other thing how you can do is find out what's going on in the past. Which you understand about that like entirely. I don't understand how much colors have really been changing, and yet though designers just look like it's be making things so much difficult for it to understand. Huh, at least you know it. Oh, I see his father before. I saw that father ever since I saw the series of it. What is it doing in the actual episodes? Probably it's there. Well, we'll get more of the father introduction later. Oh, that's too much. That's like crazy experience of what the time basically showing them. And I don't know what the hell is showing, but it's pixelated stuff I never seen. And crazy thing happens. And you know what it is. I'm gonna let things show you what's going on. I know time is like this, but you know, it's just very crazy. Maybe time's just a construct of human perception, an illusion created by... I got no words about this freaking episode. It's just like so beyond of it that you can understand what the whole point about the time. And there's that meme again with the ears piercing bleed come out. Oh. Why we're skipping forward in time and so everything is like it's degrading and oh man. Time, you're freaking crazy. You make everyone died and then they become old. Look like Duck come out of his. Looks like Duck has his eyes falling out. And that's the episode though. I guess. So ultimately, I begin to understand the whole episode too of time is the way how your body has been going over the years and they become like old, and yet you begin to understand why your body is starting to become older than younger. I understand that because a lot of people have been experiencing it because they know that they're not getting younger anymore because apparently though your youth years is ending. So ever since when my birthday arrives, I become adult now. It means I'm gonna take a full responsibility of my channels now because apparently though this whole channel is going to be taken a much more different. I know that because it's a big changes, but you know, a lot of people understand why every YouTubers are suddenly become adults because they are decided to do something to what the adult responsibility is. So yeah, you know, life's like that, you know. We can't go back in time. We can't go back in time.